The Golden Globe, Chapter 13. A gigantic crystal globe was in the center of the chamber. It reached to the ceiling and was almost as wide as the whole room. The globe was filled with swirls of golden glitter. It looks like a sparkling dust storm on Tatooine, Tahiri thought. She moved to touch the globe. Before Anakin could warn her to be careful, she was tossed back into the stone wall. Anakin raced over to his friend. "I'm okay," she said as she rose to her feet. "Guess there's some kind of force field around that thing." "Oh no, what's this creature?" Tahiri cried, jumping backward. Anakin peered over to the spot where his friend had fallen. Curled up at the base of a stone block was a small creature. He hadn't seen it at first because its fur was the exact brown and golden color of the stone wall. It seemed to be sleeping. Its closed eyes were large and so round that the lids stuck out several centimeters. The creature's body was about 1 meter long, and its floppy ears draped down to the stone floor. Anakin bent to touch the being's fur. It stuck straight out but was surprisingly soft. "Anakin, I think it's waking up," Tahiri warned. Anakin backed away. The creature opened one large eye, which was at once a swirl of brown, green, and blue. It studied the two friends. "Do you think it's dangerous?" Tahiri whispered. Anakin shrugged. He wasn't sure. Then the being stretched and yawned. "He doesn't seem too worried about us," Anakin said. "Ikrit, Ikrit, Ikrit!" The creature sat up and whistled in a high-pitched voice. Anakin raised his eyebrows questioningly. "Ikrit, Ikrit, Ikrit!" The creature whistled again. Then it curled up its small hands and pounded its chest. "Ikrit, Ikrit, Ikrit!" "I think it's trying to tell us its name is Ikrit," Tahiri said with a giggle. "Okay, so your name is Ikrit. Pleased to meet you. I'm Tahiri, and this is Anakin Solo," she said in a polite voice. It was really kind of cute, she thought. Ikrit stared right at her with its large round eyes. Now they were pure green, just like her own. For a second, she could have sworn it winked at her. Then Ikrit rose and scurried on all fours around the golden globe. It looked like it was checking to make sure the globe was all right. It sat down in front of Anakin when it was done. Then its fur changed color. It was now frost white. Anakin turned back to the globe. What was it? And why did he feel so sad when he looked at it? Anakin closed his eyes and tried to use the Force to understand the golden globe. For a moment he thought he heard whispers. His eyes flew open. Maybe he and Tahiri were not alone. But no one else was in the room except the creature Ikrit. Anakin closed his eyes again. This time he was sure he heard whispers. The whispers and cries of children. He turned to Tahiri to tell her. She looked frightened. "Anakin, I know this is going to sound crazy," Tahiri whispered, "but I think I saw a hand pressed against the inside of the globe." Anakin turned back to the globe and peered into the golden light. He could not see anything. "And that's not all I have to tell you," Tahiri said in a small voice. Anakin turned to face his friend. The hand was a child's. Anakin whirled back to the globe. He still couldn't see anything. "Tahiri, I can't see anything, but I believe you. Something is inside that globe. When I close my eyes and reach out to it with the Force, I can hear children whispering and crying," Anakin said. Tahiri looked at her friend in horror. She wanted to break the globe open and free whoever was inside of it. But neither of them could touch the globe without being thrown back by its powerful force field. Ikrit began to leap and jump in the air. "What's it doing?" Tahiri asked. "I think it's just playing," Anakin said. Ikrit leapt onto Anakin's shoulder and covered the boy's eyes. "Hey, quit it," he said. But Ikrit wouldn't get down from his shoulders. It yanked at Anakin's hair and tweaked his nose. Anakin reached up to pull the creature down. His wrist chronometer flashed in the golden light. Ikrit turned Anakin's wrist so that he could play with the instrument. "He must like how it flashes in the light," Tahiri said. "Oh my gosh," Anakin cried when he saw the time flashing. "We've been here for 6 hours. Everyone at the academy must be out looking for us. We've got to get out of here. If they find us in this secret room, everything will be lost." "What will be lost?" Tahiri asked. "And how do you know?" "It's just a feeling, a terrible feeling, that if we are discovered here, we will fail in whatever we are meant to do. And we will fail more beings than just ourselves," Anakin replied. "It's that feeling of dread and the voice inside my head." "What does the voice say?" Tahiri questioned. "It says, 'Get out of here now,'" Anakin cried. The two friends raced out of the room, with Ikrit at their heels. Tahiri and Anakin charged up the stone stairway. It was easier this time. They were covered with enough golden glitter to light their way. Ikrit followed behind them, and every few minutes he whistled, "Ikrit, Ikrit, Ikrit." We know your name already, Anakin grumbled at the creature. Its large eyes, now the same ice blue as Anakin's, stared at the boy. Ikrit, 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 it whistled again. But this time, Anakin felt like the creature was laughing at him. On their way up the stairs, Tahiri stopped to replace the old bone she had found. She held it up. Its shiny white surface was lit by golden light. It's almost beautiful in a sad way, Tahiri thought. Anakin put his hand on her shoulder. We've got to get out of here, he said softly. Tahiri put the bone down gently, and they began to once again race up the stairs. It hadn't seemed such a long way down, Anakin thought, as he struggled to catch his breath. The creature Ikrit didn't even look winded. Strange, Anakin thought. That thing had been locked up inside the room with the golden globe. Who knows how long Ikrit had been sleeping there? A year? 1,000 years? Had it eaten in all that time? Now it was racing up the steps with them. And it didn't even look tired. Anakin heard R2-D2 bleeping before he saw him through the hole in the wall. He wondered if the droid had been calling to them the whole time. For a moment he felt guilty. After all, it was R2 who had saved them from drowning in the river. And it was R2 who had discovered the hole in the wall. Maybe I've been too hard on the droid, Anakin thought. As Anakin climbed through the hole, he softly whispered an apology to the droid. For a moment, R2 was silent. But when the droid saw Ikrit bounce through the wall, he immediately began his beeping and blipping. Ikrit, 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 the creature whistled. Ikrit jumped onto the rounded top of the droid. R2 whirled in circles, trying to throw Ikrit off. But Ikrit remained calmly seated on the droid. Tahiri, Anakin, and R2, with Ikrit still sitting on R2's head, raced toward the front hallway of the palace. Anakin heaved open the door and they stepped out into the jungle. It was still raining softly, but the storm had ended. The winds had stopped tearing through the jungle, and the night sky was almost clear enough to allow the stars to be seen. Anakin turned to have one last look at the palace of the Woolamander. He stared at the dark letters carved above the doorway. I wish I knew what those letters meant, Anakin whispered to himself. Maybe, he thought, they had something to do with the golden globe. Stop staring at those symbols, Tahiri said to her friend as she tugged on his arm. We will never have the chance to find out what they mean if we don't get back to the academy. What's the rush? Anakin said. Chances are pretty good that they're going to be really upset we've been gone so long. Tahiri scowled at her friend. We should at least try, she scolded.